new traders, and they would always say, every time I buy, guess what? It goes in the opposite direction. Do you guys want to make money? Just do the opposite of whatever I do. If I jump in, it's going down. If I get out, it's going up. Do you guys know why that happens? It's right here. It's your eyes. You are, again, allowing your eyes to make the decision for you. Your eyes are building confidence for you, but wrong confidence, false confidence. Let me show you exactly what I mean. And this happens every single day. And every single day, it won't matter. People don't learn. That's just it. People are always going to buy at the top. People are always going to be wrong. I want to show you how you guys can change that, okay? So what we have is we'll have a stock that comes out with, let's say, positive trials, okay? Good news comes on out. Positive trials just came on out, and everyone's saying to themselves, this is amazing. You see the stock, but for some reason, you don't pull the trigger because you want to say to yourself, oh, hey, this play right here. Hold on one second. I want to make sure that, we didn't lose you. All right, we're good. So again, you see this play, and all of a sudden you see the stock start spiking, right? You start seeing the stock start spiking and climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. And you say, it's spiking on up. It's going on a big rip and run. And then guess what happens? You pull the trigger right here. Well, guys, after the stock has just gone on, let's say, a 60% climb, guess what's going to happen? People are going to take profits. So now the stock starts fading back on down. And now as the stock starts fading back on down, you start saying, this stinks, I'm getting out, and you take a loss. And then you get out and you take a loss. But then moments later, guess what happens? The stock spikes back on up. And people say, why would you get out of that play? It has positive results. And you say, oh man, I know what was I thinking, let me get back in on it. Well, now again, the stock just went back on up. So again, you purchased the play right here. But now again, you waited for the stock to spike. And now it starts crashing back on down. And you start saying to yourself, I'm going to keep on holding. I know how this works. I'm going to keep on holding. No worries. It'll bounce back on up. And then it starts falling back on down. And then it falls back on down. And then you get out way down here. And the next thing you know, it bounces back on up. Traders, I will let you guys know this right now. If you jump in on plays and you wait until they spike, you will be in the worst situation possible. The worst thing that you can do is see a stock spike and then buy it because a pullback's going to be coming. And then once the pullback happens, you get out. And then the stock spikes back on up. And that just leads to FOMO. It leads to, again, you being a constant loser. For instance, let's just take a look at these quantum computing plays like RGTI. RGTI, right? You see the spike, you jump in on the play, you take the massive loss. Now, again, you took a massive loss. It seems like it's bouncing right back on up. You have to get out of the habit of waiting until a stock spikes, waiting until you see the play up for you to pull the trigger. This is what 99% of traders do. 99% of traders wait until a stock spikes so they have the confidence it's a good play, right? This would be like, let's just think about it like in a different example, okay? Try to think about it like in how it does or does not make sense. Imagine if you went to an airport, okay? You went to an airport and you were so scared of, again, flying. And you said, okay, here's my ticket. And I want to go down to Florida for the winter. I have my ticket. I'm going down to Florida. And here's the plane right here. And you're so scared of flying. You say to the people, you say, hey, you know what? I don't really want to go on this plane. I don't know if it's going to make it. I want to make sure the plane goes to Florida, right? I want to make sure it lands. So the plane again flies off to Florida and it lands in Florida, right? That's the state of Florida right there. And it lands there and you say, yes, that plane's a good plane. I want to jump in on it. It doesn't matter. The plane is already in Florida. You're still in Pennsylvania. You have missed the plane. You have spent money on nothing. Now you have to, again, wait for the next plane. And if you say, well, I don't trust that plane, I don't know if it's going to work. Well, then again, at some point, you have to take a risk. In other words, guys, if you want to be a scuba dive instructor, you can't be scared of the ocean. If you want to learn how to fly planes, you can't be scared of heights. In other words, if you want to become a stock trader, you can't be scared to pull the trigger. Okay? People have too much fear. They see, let's say, OSTX come out with positive phase trials, and they say, I don't want to buy the play. Oh, why don't I want to buy it? Because it didn't spike. Then again, they buy it at the very tippity top when there's upper shadows and the stock is about to reverse and start losing and everyone starts, making fun of you. If you see a good play, if you do research, if you see the opportunity, pull the trigger. What did I tell you guys about, what's so amazing about this strategy? What's so amazing about the strategy with hot news and hot credibility and breakouts and everything that I've been going over, traders, is that we have all the news come out instantaneously. You know the drill now. You know that news comes out at 7 a.m. News comes out at 7:30. News comes out at 8 a.m. News comes out at 8:30. News comes on out at 9 o'clock. These are the prime time that news comes on out. Every now and then you'll see a random press release come out at a random time. But the bulk of the news is coming out here, 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 and here. That means if you are again watching the news scanner at these times, and we have at 8:30 coming on up, let's say, okay, 8:30 is coming on up deck, we have a very hot, positive data. We are the first ones to get involved in the stock. So at 8:30 coming on up, we have stock XYZ. Stock XYZ comes on out with positive data. We see stock XYZ at the price of $2. Guess what? This is the lowest it's going to be. If we see it at $2 and it starts moving on up here slightly, guess what? Pull the trigger. Get in right now. What's the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario is that it just goes right back down to $2, or if it just kind of moves sideways, or it's not going to fall if it comes out with positive data, right? It's always going to initially at least go on up. So if you jump in on this play, your odds of this play winning are fantastic. But your odds are awful if you wait for the spike and now you feel confident and you say, okay, now I'm going to pull the trigger. The reason why so many people constantly lose is because they wait until it spikes, then they jump in. Okay, you're good. You're right now, right? You can't wait until it already had its ammo. You can't wait until it already, gone on its rip and run. Imagine if you were betting on sprinters, okay? You were betting on people running, and some guy just ran his heart out, ran as fast, as hard as he possibly could. And they said, all right, next race, who you picking? And you say, I want that guy. And the thing is, that guy's on his knees right now. He's saying, I can't even breathe. I'm going to lose this next race. He already gassed out. You're buying stocks that have already gassed out. You're buying stocks at the tippity top that already made their moves. So the thing is, you can't trust the visuals. Well, Deck, how do I win then? That's by doing research. That's by knowing, again, what stocks are going to move up, by studying keywords, by having, again, the right scanners, by, again, being able to have a trust and faith and be able to pull the trigger, right? And too many people wait and then they pull the trigger. You have to be the first one in. You got to be the first one in to make that money.